Hey there and welcome to the Virtual Cafe Studio for coffee combos about business finances. I'm your host Kerry Zarb and I am the Money Barista. Together with Kim White, we bring you the casual feel of topics about finances every week. Step inside the Virtual Cafe and discover how simple your business finances can be. What are we waiting for? Come on, let's go. It's coffee time. Welcome back, Kim.
I'm so excited to be here. Welcome back to the Virtual Cafe with the famous Money Barista. And I have a serious question today, Kerry, that may bring some more excitement.
Fire away, Kim.
I need to make a big purchase, but I've been clinging really hard to not making that big purchase because I want to make sure that I'm going to make the right one. But I know there might have been something lately that you went through the process of making a big purchase. What I want to know is, would you share what you do when it's time to make a big purchase?
Okay, so Kerry actually has, this is more of a confession than an answer, Kim. Maybe it's a combination of both, because the listener tuning in may have heard of Delilah, Kerry's coffee machine. And she and I just weren't quite getting along recently. And Kim, you can attest to this. I have persisted. I have tried to work out why she was tasting a little bit funky sometimes. For a long time, I thought it was the milk, all the things. And when you run, how much was it? I think it was 7 litres of water through a machine trying to clean it or do, let's get rid of this thing, whatever's going on. You kind of hit this little zone of maybe it's time there was a new coffee machine. And not taken lightly, Kim, because in actual fact, what I did was I've been researching coffee machines for 2 months solid. I've been across all the websites, I've looked at reviews, I've watched YouTube videos on how they perform, all the things. And I was a little bit determined to get something very similar to what I already had. So long story short, after 2 months of procrastination, of persisting and trying to, she's still good, we're going to get there, we'll be okay, we can do this. And then on the very last day of October, in fact, I had to do it. However, there was a plan in place the whole time. You know I love my numbers, Kim, and I had already worked out that Delilah had saved me $21,000 in coffees. That's not contributing the cost of the beans and the milk on my side, but if I was simply wanting that many coffees per day and going out to purchase them, it would have been over $21,000 in coffee that I have spent. Now, it's no secret, I work from home, so obviously I don't really want to get in the car 4 times a day and go and buy a coffee. However, I could have. So having somewhat saved $21,000 on what was roughly a $1,300 purchase when I bought Delilah, didn't take me long to do the maths that Delilah's replacement would be an investment well made. But I need to add as well, there was also the plan of, I don't want to just part with over $1,000 and not think about where that money's coming from. And if I pay out that money, am I going to not pay something else? So there could have been a little savings plan behind the scenes. I might have been stashing a little bit extra in the rainy day funds, Kim, so that when the time was right, the money was there.
So let's go back for just a second, Kerry, because Delilah was like family. She was a machine, y'all. Just want to make that clear. But she was Kerry's barista. That's what we would always laugh and say. Her job was she was the barista for Kerry. So giving Delilah up, I know, took a lot. And I think all of us, Kerry, are maybe attached to something we already have, like say a computer or some kind of equipment or something comparable. And we don't want to go through the whole, how do we replace something that we have spent so much time with? So I know that all of that was emotional for you. And I just want to call that out. We get it. We get those big purchases can come from replacing something we're familiar with.
In 2022, I started sharing a special tool out to the universe that has since saved users over $116,000. I'm Kerry Zarb, the Money Barista, and I know what it feels like to find random charges on your bank or credit card statement. If you want to get in control of your recurring payments, then the Money Barista Savings Tool is the free step for you. I host a live tour of the savings tool every quarter, and it's completely free for you to attend and get this amazing tool. Come and hang out with me and others in the virtual cafe for your free demo so that you can find those nasty charges and start saving money. Head over to kerrysarp.com/savings to register for the next live tour. And while you're there, grab your free and private copy of the Money Barista Savings Tool so that you can get started on saving money today. Well, Kim, can I make another little piece of confession here?
Please.
So Delilah 2.0 has entered my world, Delilah's replacement, and you have to go through the whole setup process. The change feel was incredible. When I unpacked Delilah 2.0, I had both machines in my room on opposite sides and I had no idea what button to press on new Delilah. How do I even get a coffee out of this thing? And immediately I looked at Delilah and went, she just had that button. I just pressed that button and then I got my coffee and everything was magical. And I'm looking at my new coffee machine, shuffling through the book, and Kim, you know how much I love to read, so I'm skim reading through the book, looking for the button that gives me my latte. That's all I wanted was, and then I started reading about programming and how you can set my coffee and you have to press this button and let it do this and then turn it off and do. I'm like, oh my God, where is the latte button? And on the new machine, it's called a latte macchiato. And I'm like, wait, I don't do macchiato, but I had to test it. And when you get a new coffee machine, you've got to run so many cycles. Like you want to get coffees through it to get that stable flavour. It's a thing. It's like when you buy a new car and they used to tell you to do like under the speed limit for, so many, like 1,000 Ks or something to wear it in. It's the same kind of thing with a machine, a coffee machine. Nearly 2 weeks Delilah 2.0 has been here now, and I chose well because other than working out that one button, which it's all sorted, it's the same process. I attach the milk pot, I press the button, I can come over here, I can do something else. When she's finished, I go back, I do the rinse cycle. Everything's the same as Delilah now that I worked out that one button.
Oh my goodness, Carrie. So here's the thing about Delilah and all the things. Y'all, Carrie's coffee addiction is real. Let's just be really clear about that. But Carrie, you're researching, you're setting aside time to know that you have to have time to do the new button. Like there were different things of this process that no matter what we're replacing or what big purchase we're making, there are things to consider. Can you give us kind of your top 3 things to consider when we're going to make a big purchase?
I can say what I should have done better. Can I go there, Kim?
Ooh, Carrie, that's good.
I wish I had bought Delilah 2.0 sooner because I would have had Delilah still operating as a backup while the replacement was getting run in. Because when you change something, and here we're talking about a coffee machine, so it's very minor kind of piece of our lives to the average human, not to Kerry. It's a big part of my life. But, to go to your backup and feel familiar and feel comfortable and be able to press that one button and get exactly what you want, although that wasn't working and probably was not able to be orchestrated in a perfect world, one would have still been there as a backup while the other one was coming into play. Having said that, who's got the crystal ball on these things sometimes? I couldn't predict that Delilah was really going to be unrecoverable and unbearable. The taste had just turned so horrific so quickly that it was just no longer an option. But I think of this likewise to if you change platforms. When you're moving, and I'm just going to pick a social media scheduler, for example. So if we have a scheduler, Delilah and I had been friends for years, Kim. We knew each other very, very well. And I liken it to a social media scheduler because when you have a platform that you are so familiar with, it's, excuse me for saying, but it's like wiping your bum. It's just second nature. So then suddenly you've moved over to another social media scheduler and it's all brand new and it's different and it's weird. You just want to schedule your post. Sometimes you've just got that day where you just want to schedule your post. So sometimes it pays to allow that time, exactly what you said, Kim, in your schedule to give yourself that ability to play with the new toy so that you're not under the pump trying to figure things out. So it's not just a money thing, it's also a time and a calendar and a schedule, and sometimes it's a time of life thing. If you're having a really busy season in your business, I don't know if it's the right time to make a change. Like, it could not be the right time. So those are the things that we need to be aware of as well as the finances.
So, Carrie, I think about my computer and I need to change it. Like, I need to buy another computer. But I'll confess, usually whenever I get ready to buy another computer, it's because the other one broke. Like, it's usually not that comfortable backup time. It's usually for me, and I'm guilty of this. I think a lot of us are guilty of this. I don't want to put out that money until I absolutely have to. And I think that that's part of the wisdom that you're talking about is don't wait until it's going to keep you from doing business. Don't wait until it's going to keep you from having that coffee. Because let me tell y'all, business is not going to happen with Carrie unless there's coffee involved. It is not happening. But Delilah has her retirement plan now. She is going to go into, retirement. But do you have any other advice for us, Carrie, if we are thinking of changing a platform or we are thinking about, big purchases? Because I think a platform isn't necessarily a big purchase. It's still a kind of a big choice. It's a big deal when you're changing anything in your business because you're rocking along doing something the same way. Then all of a sudden you got to do something different.
Well, Kim, I've seen this probably way too many times, and I've been prey to it as well, particularly when your business starts to grow. Say you want to move from the way you're doing your numbers now, which might be pen and paper, it could be a spreadsheet, and we see one of those ads for an accounting software. And they make it look so pretty. It looks amazing. Oh, it does all these things. It's got automation. It's going to save me time. We often don't factor in the learning curve that comes with it. And all I can say, Kim, is if someone's looking to move to an accounting platform, schedule some time on your calendar to learn that sucker, because it is not going to be a 5-minute job unless you have someone doing that for you in your business, which is not a bad thing. If you're in that position, that's great. But if you're going to be keeping the numbers and you're going to be minding all of those things yourself, you just have to have the time. And that's one of the things that a lot of us struggle with, is having additional time when we're running our own business. If we're doing all the things ourselves, it can cause you stress because your finances get behind because you haven't learnt the platform yet. You haven't understood how it works. You're learning on the fly. You're learning as you go. Maybe sometimes, and I've seen this too, Kim, we're actually making mistakes that then need to be fixed later. So it just takes a lot of planning and a lot of time carved out on your calendar somewhere for any of these changes, even if it's just a small one like the social media scheduling tool. It's still going to take time to learn the new thing. So we just need to be really careful of that. Kim, I'll also confess that whilst Delilah was having big issues before her replacement came on board, I actually flipped over to the satchel coffee, the ones that come in the little packets, and then you put the kettle water and you mix it up, and I had the latte, the caramel latte, I had the double shot latte, I had the triple shot latte, I had all the different lattes under the sun. So in a way, I kind of did have a little backup plan there a little bit, just not the most ideal one in my opinion, but I'm a coffee snob, Kim, what can I say?
I love it. So, Carrie, I just want to recap just really quickly. If someone is thinking of making a big purchase, make sure that you have a backup plan to switch over to change. Make sure that you are able to carve out even a little bit of extra time to learn whatever the new thing is, whether it be technology or a coffee machine, y'all. Whatever it is, you need a little bit of extra time. And Carrie, I think another piece of this is celebrate. So congratulations for your new barista.
Thank you, Kim. She is magnificent. It is a little bit exciting. And now that she's all kind of tuned in and everything and good to go, life is good again.
Well, Carrie, do you have a recipe to share with everyone in the virtual cafe?
I do, Kim, but today's recipe is a little bit different because whilst I was mucking around from Delilah to Satchels to Delilah 2.0 and all the things, one of the things that my husband bought me and has bought me on an almost regular occasion are cinnamon donuts. Now, Kim is allergic to cinnamon, so Kim, this one is not for you. However, if you have any kind of donut, but here cinnamon donuts are so good. Do you guys have cinnamon donuts in the States, Kim?
I think we have cinnamon everything this time of year, Carrie.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well, if you take your cinnamon donut and you put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and then you add some coffee ice cream, oh my God, it is So yummy. And Kim, have you seen on the social media channels, I've seen it on TikTok, where there's actual cafes now that are making coffee inside a donut.
I have not, Carrie.
So the donuts are almost like, think of a donut without the hole in the middle, but it's got a scoop out of the center. So it's still got a little base on it. And then they pour the espresso into the donut.
Oh my goodness, Carrie's arm.
And then they put the milk in like it's a latte. It looks, I have to go and hunt it down. It looks amazing.
Now, you heard it here first on the Money Barista podcast.
You did. Well, Kim, we better hop out of here and we will catch everybody next week.
Thank you, Carrie. See you next week.
Thanks, Kim. Bye. Thank you for joining us in the Virtual Cafe studio for this convo about business finances. This production is brought to you by the Money Barista, Kerry Zarb. You can follow the show to be notified of future episodes, and if you're enjoying this podcast, we encourage you to leave a rating or personal review. Until next time, happy biz beans to you. No beans were harmed during the production of this podcast. Information contained in this podcast should be taken as general advice only, and your personal circumstances have not been taken into account. It is recommended that you seek financial advice from a professional who is licensed to do so. If you choose to act upon the general advice shared, you do so at your own